Aqueduct. It's part of the C&O Canal. And I came to show you the unbelievably fast moving water here in the Monocacy River today. This area we had basically 2 days of pretty good rain, and it's really moving down through here fast. It's come very high and moving very rapidly. Unbelievable. This is very close to the mouth of the Potomac. When I came across the ridge of rocks, the Potomac is way high also. I gotta get some shots of that. I'm gonna get some pictures, still pictures of this, and then I'm going to the summit of Sugarloaf Mountain, which is just a few miles away. So we'll see what we can find today. It's pretty windy. It's a nice day, but it's a little colder than there's the Monocacy Aqueduct. Here I am on top of the Monocacy Aqueduct. This is actually the channel where the boats would have come. This would have been full of water back in the old days. And if I turn around the other way, that's part of the ditch right there. That's part of the canal. It's blocked down there because of there's a little road, an access road going across it now. So that's looking down towards Georgetown. There's the channel where the water would have been, and over here on this side where this iron railing is, looks like this was the towpath up there. Here's a shot of the aqueduct. I'm standing on the towpath. That's looking upstream. That trestle you see up there is a railroad trestle. That's a CSX trestle. This is downstream. That's the Potomac River down there. And I'll just get a little shot of the water looking straight down here. Maybe you can get a feel for how quick the water's moving. It's really muddy. It's making a lot of noise as it goes past this bridge. Unbelievable amount of water coming down through here. This is lock number 27 on the C&O Canal. There's the towpath. Out there's the Potomac River. There's the lock keeper's house. This one's in pretty good condition. Some of the other lock keepers' houses are nothing but a shell, or maybe not even that. This one looks like it's been kept in pretty good condition. There's a towpath headed back towards the Monocacy Aqueduct. And there's the canal. Take a look down in the lock itself. Here's the upstream side. And there's the downstream side, heading down towards Washington. That's looking at the downstream side of the canal. That part of the canal's full of water. So here's the lock. Here's where you would exit the lock, and there's the canal headed down towards Washington, to give you some kind of an idea of maybe what it looked like years ago when it was being used. Hey there, buddy. No, stay down. Stay down. This is some sort of a gate that looks to me like it was designed to let them drain this section of the canal. There's the canal. Let me turn around this way. That way is looking towards lock number 27. And there's the canal coming down this way. And there's the canal heading upstream. And if you look right here, you can see that there's some water draining through here. There isn't much left of the gate. There's not enough, of course, to stop the water, or maybe they disabled this thing on purpose. I've seen these things at a bunch of the other locks too, but this one actually has some of those metal pieces there almost look like the valves that would have allowed the water to either be in the canal or drain. There's another one over here on this side. Okay, I'm back at the Monocacy Aqueduct, and it turns out that embedded in the wall of this aqueduct right there is a Coast and Geodetic Survey benchmark. It's kind of beaten up, half of it's missing. I don't know when this one was put in. The first entry I could find in the database is dated 1957. So And they say in the database, they say they don't know when this one was put in, and because half of it's missing. If there was a date stamped on it, it's missing. Anyway, the elevation of this benchmark right here is 222.53 feet above sea level. How's that for a fact? Before I leave the aqueduct here, I wanted to mention one other thing that I read about. The Monocacy River here is very high today on account of all the rain that we've had. But I read that during Hurricane Agnes, which was in, I think that was in 1972, this aqueduct was completely underwater. So if you can imagine this whole area being completely underwater. The structure was damaged enough that if you go on the internet, you can find where they raised a bunch of money and came in here and refurbished this thing to make it safe again so that it wouldn't collapse. Some of the other aqueducts on the C&O Canal have collapsed on account of floods like that. But this one survived it, and I don't think it survived it intact, but it survived it enough that they were able to rehabilitate it, and now it's just a real nice historical landmark to come see. So there you have it, Monocacy, it's the longest aqueduct on the C&O Canal. I'm at the summit of Sugarloaf Mountain near Dickerson, Maryland, and you're looking at a historic survey benchmark. It was used in the original East Coast survey that was authorized by Thomas Jefferson when he was president. Originally, there was a hole drilled in that rock. It was monumented in 1879. In 1892, they came back and drove that copper bolt into that drill hole, and it's got a small circle drilled in the middle of it. So they renamed it Sugarloaf Reset. The elevation of that benchmark is 1,279 feet. I'm going to do a pan of the area so you can get a feel for why they put that benchmark there. This is a high point in Maryland. I don't know if you can see that power plant over there. That's the Dickerson power plant, and just beyond that is the Potomac River. And there's a pan of the area. This is reference mark number 2. There's supposed to be, it's missing, but you can see where it used to be. And there's supposed to be an arrow chiseled in the stone pointing towards the survey station. You can see the tail of the arrow at the bottom of the screen. At the top of the screen, there's just a teeniest little bit of the arrow visible there. So that is that's reference mark 2. This is reference mark number 1. The disc is missing, but you can see where it was. The hole in the middle in the countersink. And this is looking back over to the benchmark where my brush is sitting. That's arrow number 1. It's about 8 feet away from the station, and it's pointing back towards the station, which is where my paintbrush is. This is arrow number 2, and it's pointing back to the survey station, which is back there where my paintbrush is. And that's arrow number 4. I had a hard time finding it. It's wet, so you may not be able to see the head of the arrow, but it's pointing back towards the station, which is back there with the paintbrush. And 212 feet away from the benchmark, I finally found this azimuth mark. It's pretty beat up. I can't really read the information that's stamped into it. But in the database there was a reference to this mark, so I came over here and looked for it. Here's the reference mark. It's on a ledge overlooking this part of the state of Maryland towards the Potomac River. Right, there's the mark. There's the river, Dickerson Power Plant, and if I turn back this way over there on top of that hill that's got the snow on it is where the benchmark is. So they would have used the line from there over to here to establish their azimuth. Okay, here's another one that I found, another benchmark. This one's stamped Sugarloaf ERDL Reset 1957. This is over here near the edge of a rock ledge, and that's looking towards the Potomac River and the Dickerson Power Station. And there's that benchmark. Here's a 360-degree pan of the overlook here, starting at the Potomac River. There's still a little bit of snow up here.